watching MTV Base. Ooh. It sounds like a song you'd hear, like, you know, Christmas R&B song.
I can see why you want to get on an advert. Yeah.
Very good vibes.
Yeah, I do love it. Yeah, just even like the reception to it has just been kind of, yeah, just great in terms of I can definitely tell that this time out that I took was definitely needed and yeah, it's appreciated as well. So,
like, what's the anxiety like though, after being away for so long and then dropping at like a seasonal song?
I haven't slept. Like, my sleeping has been wild. Like, I'm getting up. Like, I think I'm probably the last few weeks, kind of leading up to it, probably slept like, this is gonna sound wild, like 4 hours maybe properly. Like, I'm dipping in and out of sleep.
What, per night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
just waking up in frosty sweats.
Not like that. Not frosty sweats.
Man hit you with a seasonal joke.
It's cold out here. It's not even cold sweats anymore.
It's frosty sweats. No, it's just naturally you're worried, you're nervous, you know. It just, you know, I've built up a certain kind of fan base or support system, but naturally, you know, if you haven't dropped for a year, those people are going to kind of drop off. Some of them, do you know what I mean? Because it's just how it is. You gain new fans, you lose kind of your old ones sometimes, especially when you haven't dropped. So I was definitely like worried about that. I was worried about the fact that I've been, like, this year that I haven't dropped, like, a lot has changed online on social media, how you kind of push yourself and your music. So I was like, damn, how am I going to do this? I'm thinking about the marketing side of things. You're thinking about so many different things, especially as an independent artist. And me, I'm up against like people that have big label backings and big budgets, and I'm little old me, like, you know what I mean? So it's definitely kind of as much as like it's a fun process, it's also quite worrying because you don't want to feel like you put in all of this effort for it to just fall on deaf ears. And so that can be just that natural worry.
I think it is. I feel like, I don't want to, I'm definitely not in your shoes. I feel sometimes people in your space can overthink it, where yes, you are up against people, but you also kind of really not, because they're so far over there. And especially if you've had like specific example like yourself, had a year gap, it's kind of reintroduction. Yeah. So utilizing the time period to do something light, fun, and if it's a little bit outside of your usual style, I'm trying to think and having a good time, and it's a seasonal song. Also, kind of finish the year on a high if we can do. Hopefully people will receive the song well, and just as long as you're back in like energy wise, creativity wise, back in that space to make sure that for 2023 we don't have a year off, innit? Yeah, exactly. I think it's more, I think that's how you should kind of just look at it, especially like if you're having a year. I couldn't imagine, I'd even ask you lot, like, how long do you think we could go without podcasting and then come back and podcast and kind of be back in the groove, get the same kind of reception, maybe look data wise, number wise, like it's a lot. Yeah. You know? It's a lot.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think
I have a week off and I'm about to pull my hair out.
Yeah. I do agree with you on that one.
Yeah,
it's part of the routine now.
Yeah, it's difficult, I think, like, and when you do take a lot of time out to something that people have been invested in, they're gonna sometimes, like, you know, we're in an era of like wanting to know everything about the person that's producing the content. People want to know why. Like, when we don't pod for a week, people want to know why. You know, they think that there's, you know, deeper things than it actually is.
They thought Chris had him in a headlock, man. It's crazy, man.
So yeah, like for an artist especially, like, I can understand where you get to a point where you start seeing certain things dip a little bit. You start seeing your fan base drop because, you know, to someone that's like also relatively new, and then you don't drop for a year, some people may think, oh, well, you know, she's done with it.
The artist thing, you got to stay in their face. And if you're not in their face musically, or maybe being on space like this, or just dropping funny stuff on the internet, because your content package is also a thing now as well, out of sight is out of mind. Like, yeah,
100%. And I was happy with that, because I needed to go away and I needed to sort myself out.
That's good then, isn't it? So
I wasn't out here thinking like, what do I do? Because like my followers didn't drop off that much. Do you know what I mean? Like it didn't drop off that much, but in the same breath, like, just naturally, as you said, like, if people have been invested and I have kind of gone away to kind of work on myself, because I'm not telling people can still see I'm in the studio, they can see my story, they can still see I'm working, but I haven't kind of really outright spoken about it, so people can think, oh, are you really committed to it? We're committed to you. Are you committed
No, this is a two-way relationship.
Yeah,
like,
it's a two-way.
50-50.
It's a two-way. So, but I needed to go away and get myself so right that when I come back in 2023, single after single after single,
Are we
video
gonna
after
hear
video after video.
the reasons as to why there was a year off? Is that going to bleed into the music? Are you going to tell that side of things? Are we going to...
Like, I'm pretty open in terms of if I have conversations on radio, if I have conversations like on the podcast, I'm pretty open. I haven't kind of like made it a focal point. All I want to do is come back harder and give people what they want, which is music and good content. You know, that was my plan. I like, for example, when I had the release party, I did a Q&A, and the people who were at my release party, a lot of them have supported me during the time where I was quiet. They really got like deep answers as to
the release party that we weren't invited to.
You were invited to it.
She said, you made that music.
She did.
Off the
cuff worldwide, baby.
I posted it. I even liked the one I posted about with the address on it and everything.
Do you know what advice is bad dude? Because Cheryl's my genie. She definitely invited me. She sent it to me, but we were recording it. Vance is a bad dude.
Terrible.
I'm sorry,
She
man.
said,
That caught me off guard. You know I'm not lost for words like that.
I was only asking you all that because I want to hear the free bag story in the music. I want to, obviously, I don't know how much you want to share, but I think that's kind of space we're in because we're going to get onto some obviously topical album that just released as well. Like, people want to hear where you're at and, you know, what's going on with you. And
respectfully, though,
of course, respectfully, you got to get that space, innit? I
feel like in this circumstance, people only care when it's a big artist. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so
I need to get there. Do you know what I mean? I just need to make bangers.
I think now, just at this point, just get to the music, make the bangers, and then like, you know, for someone like I don't know, like a SZA'a, for example, like who hasn't dropped in so long, but there's just so an album, content, but she's given us something. Like, but people, you know, want to know what the album. People are going to run to the album once it finally comes out because she's been someone prominent that hasn't dropped an album for 5 years. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm not there yet. And I know I'm not there yet. And
you're building, innit?
Yeah, I'm building. But I just know, trust me, it was the toughest decision to make because I felt like I was relatively consistent. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it was a very tough decision for me to be like, okay, let me make sure I got my, you know, my bag together, make sure I've got my mind together, make sure I've gone out and experienced life. I've gone on holidays. I'm not cooped up because as I was talking, like, dealing with situations like even like relationship issues that can like change your mindset and the way you view things and the way you see things. So
that was Chrissy. She couldn't see out of her left ear.
listening to grime. Listening to Bruiser.
It's Bruiser coming at your blows to your nose.
Get me.
That's the real truth. The wildest thing you've had to watch for dick was Lord of the Mics.
You're insane. Fully got me. Insane.
Now I'm finished.
No, life, because even me, I didn't go away for ages. I needed a holiday to Indonesia originally. Like I had to get away. Like, you just can't keep going to work. And as an artist, a lot of this stuff is, as an independent artist, a lot of this stuff is self-funded. So as much as a consumer in this end, I might want a song every month. What's the cost of that? And if I'm just like throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks, that might not be a good business model. So of course, I don't want one single a year, but maybe with someone like yourself, 3-4 across the year, or covers that you just put online on SoundCloud. But the stuff you're trying to push, maybe 3 or 4 of them. But we need some more singles doing it. Like,
that's normal. I know what I need to do. Like, that's fine, and I've got my plan and I've got my goals, and I definitely just want to drop single after single. Like, it's not, I don't want to drop aimlessly, and that's why I took the time out, because it just doesn't make sense for me to just drop.
Taking time out on yourself in for a year, were you still like peeping what was going on between the scene?
Yeah, I was still going to events. I was still networking. I was still out there. I was still out in the field. I was still in the studios. I was still making my connections behind the scenes. Like, it wasn't, I just wasn't releasing for a year. So it wasn't like
You weren't inactive completely.
I wasn't inactive. I was still doing my vocal lessons. I'm still doing my rehearsals. Like, I'm still doing things behind the scenes to stay active. I just needed to have a plan. Because remember, during the whole of COVID, I was still working 2 jobs in a COVID period, and I was still releasing. That was when I was most active. I was so burnt out. Like, burnt out.
I remember the last time you came and you said that,
money, burnt out of everything. Do you know what I mean?
And then you let a man stress you? Crazy.
Bruh, so... You know what I mean? Like, there's just levels to it, and for me, I need to, as much as I love music, there is kind of that business side of it as well. Yeah, which you need to keep everyone happy.
Absolutely. But speaking of levels, we finally got the album.
Yes.
SOS.
Yes.
Last week I was talking about speaking Scissonese. Are you familiar with the Scissonese language?
I am.
Because of this album, I think we've got some more Scissonese at certain points. So the album's called SOS. SZA finally dropped 23 tracks.
23 tracks.
23 tracks. She definitely doesn't want to just be an R&B girl. It's clear. We're getting...
Is there variety on there?
Variety, pop, a bit of rap. Would I say rock a little bit? A little bit of rock as well.
It gave me... One of them was similar to, like, Busted. Like, gave me, like, Busted
Yeah,
vibes.
she definitely wasn't trying to just go for just staying in this one box, which I wasn't expecting that, to be frank, but I wasn't mad at once we got in it. So, but we'll open the floor to everyone else to talk about the album and where you were. Like, that was just like my first listen. I was like, okay, 23 tracks, and okay, now I understand why it's 23. Because I think last week I was saying I was worried of it being 23, but if you're giving me all these different sounds, it makes sense why it's so long. But yeah, what's your thoughts on the album?
I haven't listened to it. But
okay.
Mentally, because it's so long, I think I've said this to you before. I find it very difficult to listen to long albums.
Fair.
And I feel like it doesn't always make sense if I try to split it. But I cannot commit to listening to 23 songs back to back. Can't do it.
As long as you don't listen to the album on shuffle, you're fine. How you want to listen to it is if you need to listen to track 1 to 8 and then create your own little playlist out of it. That's how some people listen to music now, isn't it? So
it's true. I liked it. I haven't listened to all of it. I've listened to a lot. I've got like a couple of tunes that I like SOS. I like Low. And there was another one.
How do you feel about F to F?
Yeah, F to F. That's the one that I felt sounded like Busted.
Okay.
Like, gave me like rock vibes.
Where she's talking about she had to smash him to get over.
She sucked his dick because she missed him.
Yeah. She sucked someone else's dick because don't tell me you miss me. And
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild. And there was the one that she was rapping something about my ex.
I was smoking my ex pack.
Yeah.
I really like the rap.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, this suits you as well. So, she's definitely in her sad girl season with the album. that was my other thing. Yeah, go on, fans.
Yeah, like last week we spoke on it a little bit, and we were kind of worried about the long track listing, 23, especially in this climate. It's hard to keep a lot of people engaged. But I think that SZA and everyone involved done a really good job of doing this, because when I first listened to the album on first listen, I was like, this is good music, but it just seemed a little bit all over the place for me speaking. Like stuff like F to F is not like a shock to me personally, because I've heard that type of sound from her before, where I think she went like super hard with this one, like in terms of like the sound, which may have surprised a lot of people, but it's just like a variant of like something like Drew Barrymore off Control. Fair. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think
she pushed the bar a little bit more.
She did, and it was like very Avril Lavigne-esque in terms of how the instrumental was, but then she still gave you scissor on it, which is what I appreciate. And just going off like the track listing and like how I felt like everything was a little bit all over the place, like just listening to it over and over again, I just noticed that there seemed to be like a little bit of a pattern with every 3 songs. They were kind of like within the same family as you go along, like from Seek and Destroy all the way up to Love. From like Kill Bill, Seek and Destroy, Low, very Don Toliver-ish, Travis Scott sound. It sounded like she was in multiple sessions with these man.
Yeah.
Right. Seek and Destroy. I thought this was a Don Toliver song. Like, it just, like how he does his melodies and stuff. Like, he is on the album, which makes sense. Low, you have Travis Scott's ad-libs all over it. And then it bleeds into like Love Language, the end of Love Language, where
I think it's really cool. They sampled her song.
They sampled her own song. They used the Aaliyah flip, and then they used SZA's Hit Different
that
bridge,
together.
And then the violin at the end, and then it goes into Blind, which starts with harps. Like, it just, for me, it just started to connect well. Like, and then, you know, you have different segments. After Blind, you got Used, Snooze, Notice Me, Gone Girl. Gone Girl for me was the one that I was like, oh shit, like she's really going for it. And that's like when we're going towards the second half of the album, which for me was my favorite side of the album.
Yeah.
SZA's pen is different as well. And you know, you can tell just like she's rapping obviously in this one. Shouts to Jay Versace, who's had a great rebrand from like someone on Vine.
No, he corrected you a lot. It's not a rebrand, bro. We're just multifaceted.
Yeah.
Rebrand. I mean, I can do whatever I want.
For the person, obviously, it's not a rebrand.
Yeah.
But obviously, to us, what we started to know you from.
Yeah.
And then what you've, you know, a Grammy Award winning producer, and you've got the two beats where SZA's rapping.
Yeah.
On you know, and this is not the only stuff that he's done in it. Like,
of
he's
course,
been,
yeah.
you know, he's been at it. If you know, like, you know, but yeah, like Smoking on My X-Pack.
The bars on there are crazy.
Like, and again, like Ghost in the Machine featuring Phoebe Bridgers is the perfect gateway for F2F and Nobody Gets Me, which I think of the little part of the album, Nobody Gets Me, like ends that little trilogy well. Like, I think that's the best song out of the two previous. And yeah, like I wasn't really getting bored. Like Open Arms featuring Travis Scott, I thought I was gonna hear Travis like, it's lit all over the place. Yeah, like straight up. Like, I thought I was gonna hear all of that, but it was it's one of the best songs on the album for me again. And
I think it worked because he just ended up kind of matching SZA's energy on that song.
Yeah.
He didn't get into his Travis bag too much. He just kind of, I don't know if they did that session together or he sent the song.
They've already got chemistry
from the last one.
From the last one. Travis is a producer as well, so like, you know, they kind of know how things should sound like, especially like the direction that they want to take the song.
Yeah.
And then it just goes into I Hate You, obviously, which is something that we've heard before, and then Good Days, which is a strong finish. Although we've heard these ones before, like these are the songs that are gonna make the album do 1 billion streams within the first week or weekend or however it was.
The same numbers are going to be crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. And then she ends with Forgiveless featuring ODB, rest in peace. And yeah, man, I just it's a very good album. I think SZA is uniquely in her own lane. She is like one of the leaders of the R&B girls, but like just with how she makes her music already, you've got like the whole like not being able to make out what she's saying thing. That kind of puts her in her own box as well. Now she's adding rapping into it. The production is always going to be of high level. And yeah, it was worth the wait, man. I think, you know, if this is like part of like TDE's direction, then yeah, it paid off. Because
I don't want another 5 years though, please.
Yeah, it's doing a lot. But yeah, man, shouts to SZA on this one.
How do you feel about some of the talking points? Her finally admitting that it is a BBL. This ain't a real ass.
Great.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like she looks good. I'm not going to complain about that.
Come on.
And yeah, it's time for women
to tell the truth.
Tell the truth. Yeah. Time for women to tell the truth, and she did that straight off the bat.
She was on a self-deprecating vibe though. She told us she's a loser quite a few times. I was like, okay. I said, all right.
That's not.
Right.
I mean,
It's
if
not
that's-
abnormal. Like,
if that's how she feels, and she's, you know, you want artists to kind of. There's a lot of people that say they want artists to speak from the heart.
Of course,
that
yeah.
might be what her heart's saying.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and she's also telling us that, you know, she's got your favorite rapper on Red, like, and all of these things. You might be talking about Drake. You don't know. But
who knows? I mean, he's
who
out here with
knows?
42 engagement necklace rings, like, you know. it's
Yeah,
crazy.
and he did reveal to us how he used to date her. So
Unprovoked as well. By the way.
unprovoked.
In 08, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the way, I used to date SZA. No
I was like, why are you telling us?
But Drake is so problematic though, but I think he likes being problematic. You see how, like, I feel like Beyonce and Drake are very similar. Sorry, I'm not trying to go.
No,
Yeah, go on.
I feel like Beyonce and Drake are very
Chris is
similar.
looking at you like,
they don't
how
say,
dare you put them two together?
No. This is what I mean, right? Beyonce always throws shade. I love B.
Okay.
B always throws
Hey,
shade
man,
in her
sit
music.
back for this.
Like
Yeah.
B will never come out and cuss someone
And drag someone,
drag
like,
someone in on online or
Yeah.
on social. She'll do it in her music. Drake does the same thing. He
Give me an
drags
example.
people.
When's the last time Beyonce threw shade or shade that you remember that's noticeable?
What, the Khalees thing?
Definitely. Which one?
What, the Khalees
In music, or
situation?
was there? Did she throw shade in the music? Or she said in the music.
Well, obviously she's got like
If I gave 2 fucks about streaming, I would have put Lemonade on Spotify.
that's Lemonade,
Left
right?
bitches on Red.
But how is that Lemonade? But how's that shade? Who's that shade at? Is that?
Well, it was supposed to be Jay-Z. Supposed to be.
There was
right?
this whole big thing about her
Scandal and
Lemonade
cheating.
album not being on Spotify
Yeah.
because she was like, I don't need you lot streams. But obviously, as a platform, they would want it on there.
Okay.
She was like, why would it? Never
What
mind.
did you
Yeah.
say that in?
The
song that I hated on Everything Is Love.
Oh no.
Trying to-
Nice.
Nice. Last name gonna be here
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
I feel bad because I can't give examples, but Beyonce does throw shade in her music.
Okay. I believe you.
She does.
She does, man. Like, especially the ones that she raps on.
Yeah.
Like,
Like she'll just be like talking about industry stuff and like even if it's not anything like directly like okay, I'm gonna find the lines and I'm gonna
No, I hear you.
I'm
Find
the
some
only
examples
lady
here.
here, but still the realest nigga in the room.
yeah.
That ain't shit. That's just facts, bro. According to Essie,
It's facts.
this isn't urban news, by the way. That is just facts.
It is facts.
That is just facts, isn't it? So, but yeah, now, Vans, I love your breakdown because you sound like you proper listen to it, and I think when I go back now, I'm gonna try and listen out for those bits where it feels like these 3 songs are a certain sound, and then these 3 or these 2.
Yeah,
and
like I think, I mean, I don't know, innit? Like it could just be me listening, but this is what I took from just listening to the album.
Yeah.
In order for people to stay engaged, because like at first I spoke to a number of people and they were like, oh, I'm a little bit confused. And
what's going on here?
Yeah, but yeah, take a couple more listens, and you know, it's for me, I love SZA's runs as well, like her riffs. Like some people may say she overdoes it, but I just like how she does it.
Bring that stuff back, man. I don't like this, like acting like you're not singing or singing through your left nostril. Like, let's hear your voice.
She's definitely here to stay.
But why
And
should everybody have to do that though? Like why should every single like why
Not
does,
everyone,
why
but like I feel like we got away from that a little bit, where it's like, especially because some people are singing like it's all like
very nasally.
There's certain tones, or also when okay, so at least for the male singers, where you got people who aren't really singers but are singing, and then using the technology to make the voice sound a certain way.
Okay, cool. I got you.
I grew up in a church and I want to hear power in it.
Yeah, I mean,
When it ooh yeah,
you're not always gonna get power from every singer that's out there. That's you know, especially like some of the prominent ones. But yeah, she's like, there was a conversation about like her being the leader of the R&B girls.
remember the infamous argument with Essie and that was about Summer Walker and all that stuff. And
Yeah, I mean,
that.
like it's always going to change, and that's always going to be dependent on the music that you drop.
Yes.
Because I remember, like, for example, I think the argument between me and Essie was between her and Summer Walker.
Okay, yeah.
And Summer Walker's got the streets, but she's being overlooked by a lot of the awards. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
whereas
They love
for her,
They
it's
love her.
it's
Yeah.
you know, and hers like, I'm not gonna try and shit on either of them because they're both like vocalists. They both play a number of instruments. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just that Summer Walker's business is out there a lot more than hers is. Her is just.
Hers business does not appeal to the shade room.
Her is
Summer
like
Walker's
corporate.
does.
Her is like corporate.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, but I think this is going to be a lasting one for SZA. There are talks about you know, some women not relating to the subject matter of SOS
because you call yourself a loser. That's
and
why.
A lot of it is like very situationship type R&B. So you know, that's another thing that I get. But you know, the music in general, I think is great. No TDE members.
There's no bad music on there.
No TDE members.
That's good. We don't need you on there, bro.
Good.
We don't. I'd also be obvious. I don't need a Kendrick feature on there, or I think if I'm right, it's not anymore. Her and I think SZA'a Rashad had like quite a good bond. They were the ones that were kind of quite close on the label, so that might be the only one I might be looking out for in it. But
yeah,
outside of that, like I've waited this long for you. I just want to hear from you, and also give me some features that might not be so obvious.
I think she owed that because of how long she'd been out the game.
We've been complaining about SZA to the point of like boring our listeners talking about SZA.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm happy that we've got the album now, and
23
I wasn't
songs,
disappointed.
5 features. ODB, like, you know, not really going to count that as a feature, but you know, like 23 songs and a lot of it is on your own.
Yeah.
And she's really holding her own on these songs, which obviously is expected because we've seen that from her before. Phoebe Bridgers I'm not familiar with, but like I was impressed on the album. So yeah, this is something that's going to be in heavy rotation in my household.
I know it's still early days, but do you think it was worth the wait?
I would say so.
Yeah. But I'm a bit impatient at times, and I just think wait. But then we had COVID as well. So I remember when in the old space, someone corrected me, like, also got to count the fact there's COVID. Certain artists weren't going to drop during that time period, so you kind of, it's not really 5 years like that.
Okay, you don't count COVID years.
Yeah.
She was fighting for her life as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like, she wanted this out from
we'd always get the tweets about her falling out with going at Punch and the label and stuff. So
but I don't know if we were going to get what we got.
Maybe they were right, because if we got the album in 2020, it might not have sounded like this.
You know, but she's been feeding us like either way, like whilst we were waiting, you know, Hit Different, Good Days. I was
itching when those songs dropped. I was like,
Shut
and then Hate You.
Like, you know, we
Hate You. Listen, at a certain point in my life, I was singing that from my lungs.
If you're wondering,
Yeah.
I do, yeah. Man. Shout out to SZA again. I think
good relatable R&B. I hear what some women are saying about like calling herself, that kind of being derogatory to herself, but like situation music is kind of it's hitting because a lot of people are in situationships, isn't it? So
yeah, and I think in Kill Bill, I think the second song she says in a hook, "I'd rather be in hell than alone."
That's pick me vibes 101. Now I ain't complaining. I'm a no misogyny nigga, but that's hilarious.
Yeah,
maybe you need to go and re-listen.
Women are like, I can't relate.
Yeah, I can't relate to that. Yeah,
there's some that
I'd rather be in hell than alone.
Nah, heal.
Say she loved man too much.
Yeah. Heal.
Well, the music slaps. I still have to say this. Stream the album.
That one really.
Chris is like, okay, wow.
Yeah.
SOS out now.
So I want to do before we do go, I want to shout out to the blonde bombshell, aka Young Goldilocks in the corner. You saw the video. Come on, man.
Oh,
we got to talk about
Chrissy.
We'll show you off one of the most pressing things right now. So if you're out at Room 187, the most recent event at Amazing Grace, when they brought out Big Brothers, there was a young lady wearing a pink shirt.
Yes.
She had short hair.
Face beat. Hair looking
blonde.
curly.
Yeah. Come on.
Guys, I'm
not a wrinkle in the shirt.
Jeez, no stutter in her speech.
Come on. No, Maybach music.
You're a dick. You're a dick.
Love you, girl. Hate it had to be you. If it was Chrissy, oh my God, I would have loved it. I hate it had to be you. I hate it. Yeah.
Hey,
shouts out to Chrissy. She was out there doing roving reporter.
Yes.
Doing crowd interaction and questions.
Are you hosting?
Yeah, I feel really shy now.
I love roommate.
Shy? That's not you.
Don't be shy. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you. It was fun.
Yeah.
I'll be back there again.
Okay.
So,
thanks for the bringing. That's what I'm saying. Frankie, isn't it?
No. That was that genuine. Was that genuine?
It was.
Okay, that was genuine.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're welcome. Yeah, it was a good time. It's something that I've wanted to do for a while. But I think now I'm just at a place now where I have the confidence to do it. Like,
Okay.
oh, get